কৰিবলৈ আহিছিলোঁ তাতে অসম সাহিত্য সভা হৈছিল এই বছৰ ডক্টৰ ভূপেন হাজৰিকা ভাৰতৰত্ন ডক্টৰ ভূপেন হাজৰিকা স্পেচিয়েলি এটা গান ৰচনা কৰিছিল ডিফুৰ কাৰণে ডিফু হওক তোমাৰে নাম হওক মংগল তোমাৰ সেইটো কামনা কৰি let me start my short deliberation. Respected dignitaries, I have my esteemed brother Justice Mazumdar on the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, in fact, it's a deep honor for me to be invited to this August gathering for such a noble cause. At the outset, I would like to place my appreciation and heartfelt gratitude to the District Legal Services Authority, Karbi Anglong, the Don Bosco alumni, and the Difu Bar Association for their collaborative efforts in highlighting the challenges faced by the tribal populations of this region and for striving to make them aware of their most valuable and constitutionally protected rights. At this stage, I put a little caveat on the position which I am holding. To give a personal opinion is not very easy. So I will be generally speaking on the topic. And the primary objective is to make aware of the rights to those people who are actually in need of those. Holding a seminar, beautiful seminar in this beautiful hall will become successful only when it percolates to the actual needy. So the matter will not end with holding the seminar. The matter will start with holding a seminar and it will end when the outcome of this seminar, namely the rights which are given to the tribal, to a forest dweller, are actually conveyed to them. The question is how to convey the rights. How to convey the rights? The answer will be to have an outreach program, which our district judge has already highlighted, that the legal volunteers have to play a crucial role. It was very impressive. I was very impressed with the short documentary which has been prepared. And what was more interesting and important is that documentary was prepared not with some professional artist, but it was an in-house documentary where there is the involvement of the persons which are actually connected with the program. So their attachment while creating the documentary with the objective, it will be much more than a professional artist. As per the 2011 census, the population of Karbi Anglong was 9.5 more than that lakhs. But in the past 13 years, this figure has definitely increased. And a vast population belongs to the indigenous tribal communities, many of whom are either traditional forest dwellers or forest dependent households. This makes today's deliberation especially relevant since it directly concerns their lives, livelihood, and traditional rights over forest resources. Let me highlight few of the important features of the enactments. My predecessor speakers have already mentioned the Scheduled Rights and Other Traditional Forest Dwellers, which is Recognition of Forest Rights Act 2006, which is popularly called the Forest Rights Act, FRA. This Parliament has sought to redress what it has described as historical injustice, that is the expression used, to the forest dwelling communities. Now the important feature is that for a forest dwelling tribal scheduled tribe, please note, it has to be a forest dwelling scheduled tribe, not for any others. unlike other traditional forest dwellers, there is no requirement to establish continuous residence for 3 generations. Membership in the scheduled tribe itself, coupled with the bona fide dependence on forest land, will itself be sufficient. And the term forest land includes not only the reserved forest but also sanctuaries and national parks. The Act recognizes forest rights of those who occupied forest land prior to a particular date, that is 13th of December 2005. The loaded district judge has already spoken about the landmark judgment of the division bench in the state of Mizoram case. He has also given the citation. Citation will be particularly helpful for the law students, the lawyers and the judicial officers, which is 2025 3 GLT 305. I am just reiterating what the Gauhati High Court has said. The Gauhati High Court has clarified that the scheduled tribes do not need to furnish proof of occupation before 13th of December 2005. Their identity and residential association as forest dwellings as it is enough. Now, what are the specific rights which are guaranteed under the Act? One of the rights is to hold and live in forest land for habitation and self-cultivation for livelihood. Can you note the expressions? It is to live in the forest for habitation and self-cultivation for what? For livelihood, not for business. The right over ownership, collection, use and disposal of minor forest produce. The right to use water bodies, grazing areas and traditional seasonal resources. The right to protect, regenerate and conserve community forest. The right to settlement of forest villages and their conversion into revenue villages. Now there is one catch here. These rights are heritable, but these are not alienable rights. There is a vast difference between heritable right and alienable right. You cannot give it to another. The future generation they can inherit this right, but you cannot alienate the right. They cannot be sold or transferred outside the community, which is very important. The law also places a ceiling of 4 hectares per household limited to the land under actual occupation. There is another aspect which the National Legal Services Authority is playing a very important role. The National Legal Services Authority has taken a pioneering step in supplementing these statutory rights through its Samvad scheme. There is a scheme called Samvad of 2025. It's an abbreviation, strengthening access to justice for marginalized, vulnerable Adivasis and denotified nomadic tribes. This scheme rests on 2 pillars, awareness and assistance. The emphasis every time is making the actual person aware of their rights. And by making them aware, there is also an obligation on us to assist them. It creates Samvad units in the district legal services authority level, which is